Howdy folks, my name's Darren from RC Scale Models, and today we have a brand new kit, fresh release from Tamiya. It's their brand new tooled F-4B Phantom 2 in 1/48 scale. Let's get into this kit. So, as you get a massive box, I do like the box art from Tamiya. I do like this style. Pretty cool aircraft. I do like that design. It's 1/48 scale. We have this side of the box. One of the other markings. Even that scheme is really cool. It's the USS Midway version. A little bit of history in Japan language. This side of the box. It's kit number 121, or it's either item 61121. We have Sundowners. Again, it's another iconic scheme. A little bit of couple of pictures of the kit built up by Tamiya. Pretty impressive. Licensed by Boeing. So you know it should be. Hopefully it's going to be good. And plus it's Tamiya. They don't disappoint. They do good stuff. So your top opening box, nice and sturdy, typical Tamiya, and then it's loaded with plastic, individual bagged. It's the typical grey screws from Tamiya. Here's an unusual clear sprue, it's like a giant cross. But let's take a closer look at this now. So this is all the paperwork. We'll have markings, and then history and worksheet and everything else is in this bag. It's unusual that they decided to bag it. Normally it's just thrown in the bottom of the box. Just sellotape together. They haven't used the staples. Hopefully the rest of the kits like that, because people do complain about the staples. I don't know why. Typical tips and tricks from Tamiya. Pretty standard stuff. We have these giant colour callouts. We'll take a look at that in a minute. We do get these history sheets that Tamiya throw in, which is a nice touch. A little bit of history, probably mostly to do with the aircraft, and a little bit about it being in Vietnam and stuff. Again, it's in two different languages, in Japan and English. Main worksheet. Yes. So you've got nice print of the box art, and then you've got Tamiya's colours down the bottom. Pretty standard stuff. And the tools required. So you've got three options. You're going to have to pay attention if you do pick these schemes. There is probably slight variances in some of the aircraft, so pay attention. If you're doing other schemes, then again you're going to have to check your references and make sure you get the right stuff. But you've got A, B and C scheme. First step is working on what looks like the front nose area and inside of the cockpit wall. It's asking for some of the sections to be painted and a couple of pieces to be cut off already. We got some inserts. I think this is part of the side refueling probe that sticks out. This is the side nose again, being attached to the main body. Quite early steps. Here it's up for part of the decal system, where it's telling you to put one of the decals. I think that's to do with the intakes. We have this piece at the back, which is part of the near the engine. We have another door going in. We have another internal piece Then it's the cockpit tub. It is a two-seater. We have the flight sticks going in, a couple of instrument panels. This looks like instrument panel option stuff. We have the main instrument binnacles and the cockpit dash and whatever for the aircraft. We have the side consoles. Here and here is more console stuff. This looks like side walls for the wheel well, which is here, which is a long piece. It's probably to do with structural as well. This is the side walls. We'll attach this long piece, and the fronts and rear to make up the wheel well. The wheel well and top of the cockpit gets put together. This is another instrument panel going in. We have part of the engine detail. Looks like afterburner wings and stuff like that. Yep. Back of the engines, two halves, and then those two pieces you built up with the engines. And then you can sandwich the cockpit, wheel well, engines all together, pretty standard. And then you've got this back spine across the top of the aircraft. Hopefully it all fits nicely. It should do. It's Tamiya. It pretty much falls together. Shake and bake. The lower wing section is two halves. Upper wing section looks like one whole piece. You've got a lot of drill holes to fill and to drill out. It's probably for the weapons and stuff. The steering section here is inside the wheel well, and it's a wing spar, all designed as one. We've got inserts and structural parts. Once that's all built up, you can insert that in the lower wing section. Upper wings going on, and there's a couple of more detail parts being added. Once the wings have been built and you've added the flaps, which I'll probably add a little bit later, I wouldn't do it quite just yet. Add in the lower wing to the fuselage, which slots in from underneath. This section here fills in the front nose section, and it's got a slot in it for the wheelbase, so this is that fill-in piece. Here looks like we have intakes. It looks like we've got full length intakes, in fact, which is a nice touch. Left and right intakes, again adding the intakes to the aircraft, pretty standard stuff. Now it comes to the wing fold option. It looks like we do have a wing fold. Nope, sorry, that's not the wing fold, that is the rear wings at the back of the aircraft. Because the wings at the back of the aircraft has got a slight V to it, so that's the ones at the back. This section here is at the back of the aircraft. It's part of the rear tail. Rest hook, lumps and bumps going in, and the rear wings. And now it's the actual engines itself, the actual burner cans, comes as one piece, and then the individual, I don't know what you call them, like the fins of the engine, they've come as separate parts and they all lock into one another, hopefully. So if that's done separately, and the detail should be really crisp and clean, there should no need for aftermarket, but people will make it and will buy it, but I don't think it's going to need it. Here is the landing gear doors. And we're attaching landing gear doors and loads of lumps and bumps on the aircraft. The front landing gear doors, again, really standard. We've got different types of actuators by lots of things. Front landing gear going in the standard, one main piece and two wheels. Hopefully the wheels is moulded as one piece, the rear wheel tail within the kit. It looks like they are, because it doesn't say about assembling any wheels. Not on the front ones anyway. Front landing gear doors are standard. We have the aircraft nose, and it has this radar piece on the front, which is moulded as two halves, strangely. Main landing gear left and right segments are standard. Landing gear, arms and actuators, doors, and then the main wheels are two-piece. This section here is to do the underside of the aircraft. I'm not 100% sure what that is. That sits in between the two wheel bay here. I'm not sure what that is, but that comes as two halves, and then the top piece. There is a wing fold, my mistake. This is to do the wing fold section and a couple of flaps option. Here is the wing fold section, so blah and wing fold gets sandwiched together as two halves, and then it's the wing fold itself with the actual actuator for the folding mechanism. A couple of flaps attaching the wings for the wing fold, and then your flaps going in, up or down option. This looks like not sure what that is neither. These are landing gear doors for the main landing gear itself. So again, left and right, or have it in the closed option. This section here is the weapons rails for your weapons to sit onto. We have some more rails for missiles and stuff. Here we have some more weapons. These weapons are AIM-7E Sparrows. These weapons here are AR-9 Sidewinders. Loading up with loads of missiles. We have a giant fuel tank. Doesn't say what size it is, but it's a centre fuel tank that is. Or you've got an option of sticking it on the wing, which is here. This is the hard rails for the fuel tanks. Another fuel tank, and a couple of lumps and bumps on there. Yeah, so these fuel tanks are the wings, the ones that sit on the wings. This is your main tail, comes as two halves, and we've got this front spine for the tail. Yeah, once that's built up, you've got your tail going on, which should slot in on the top. That's what it's saying. We have this radar electronics part on top of the tail going in, and now it's working on the ejector seat. Comes as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. So it's two halves, ejector rail, cushions, headrest, that kind of thing. We do get some optional pilots, which is a nice touch. Tamiya started to make their figures really good and crisp. So two pilots, we've got a pilot and a Wizzo. Some optional for the helmets for the A, B and C version. Going back to the ejector seat, just before putting in, you've got your ejector handle going in, which is standard. Pilots going in if you wish to do so. This looks like more radio equipment. So A and C version got these types, and B has got a slightly different electronics and dash. This looks like the framing around the cockpit and the cover that goes over the front cover that goes over the instrument panel. I'm not sure what you call that. Now it's your canopy, open or closed option. Closed option is one piece, the open option is 3 separate pieces, because this is the centre canopy piece and these are the 2 pieces that fold up. So we have some more internals for the cockpit and some rails. Again, the open or closed version. Here is the open and closed option. The front canopy is moulded with part of the fuselage. So instead of it being right up against the glass, it's going to be easy to slot in, and it's going to be easy to glue because you've got a lot of over section for as the fuselage, so when you glue it in place you're not going to get glue all over your canopy, which is a nice design and just makes it really easy and simple. Refueling probe, open or closed option. Boarding ladder is an optional, and that's it. Quite a lengthy instruction sheet. It's 63 steps, so it's not a quick build. It's going to be a nice project. You get these giant colour callouts. This is the USS Midway version, I believe. Nice grey scheme with the black spine running down the aircraft with the red lightning bolt. Nicely done. And it's white under the bottom side of the aircraft is all white, which is pretty standard for Phantoms, I imagine. And then the stencil data for that aircraft. Love it or hate it, but I think having the stencil data on a Phantom is part of its character. If you don't do it, I think it looks a little bit weird if you don't have the stencil. The other schemes. We have the Sundowners, pretty standard again. It's the navy grey and the navy insignia white. Sharkmouth is a win-win in my opinion. I love Sharkmouths. And the Sundowner iconic tail. Pretty cool. There's 3 good schemes, so it's hard to choose from. Again, navy grey, insignia white, and he's got the red eagle type piece. Pretty cool again. Pretty cool. Now markings. Tamiya decals can be a bit thick sometimes. People complain about them. I think the best solution is Tamiya Mark Thick Strong if you have it. I don't get that in the UK. You're gonna have to get it imported. But that stuff is really good. It's designed for Tamiya decals. So we have 3 decal sheets. You have the main sheet of decals. The insignias, actually it's upside down. So insignias, we have the grey walkway sections, the Sharkmouth, the Sundowners. It's going to be a standard, the Eagles. So this is 1 aircraft, this is 2 aircraft, plus this is 3 aircraft, this section. This decal sheet is stencil data and the 3rd aircraft, which is the USS Midway, which is the black spine. Pretty damn cool. You do get some instrument panels and decals for the seat belts. Tamiya standard canopy masks. Again, they're not laser cut. Come on Tamiya, Eddard do it, so why don't you? The price we pay for Tamiya kits is over £100 mark, or near the £100 mark. At least give us cut out masks. So let's get into the kit. They are done with staples. So we have this large sprue of the wings. This is the front nose part if I remember correctly. Landing gear doors. If I get some of the parts wrong I do apologise. I'm not 100% familiar with the Phantoms. So here's the detail on the wings. Superb detail. Here's those sections. The underside of the aircraft. Pretty cool. And we have this other small little sprue, some parts on it. Fuel tanks, engine pieces, wheels by the looks of things. So we do have, this is part of the engine detail, which was separate pieces. This is part of the engine, separate wheels, more engine. This is the engine frame, another fuel tank, wings. So here are those sections for the engines. They are nicely done. 2-piece wheels. And there's part of the engine. See those slots is where those teeth will sit into those slots. Jet to handle, the cushion, more jet to seat, afterburner ring, cushions. Looks like actuators, cushions. This is the inside framing for the engines to sit. More engine detail. Looks like turbines. Jet to seat. Here is the pilot, separate pilot head, which is a nice touch because it's easier to paint. That way you can see him. That's the back of it. There is his face. Fuel tank, pretty standard. We have the wings at the back of the aircraft. Nicely done. Looks like moulded is almost one piece. You have got a couple of inserts, which is probably on another sprue. Actually, come to think of it, you get 2 of these complete pieces. It does make sense because there was 2 of everything. But you do get, unfortunately, another 2 set of wings. So there will be spares. Actually, those wings are to do the wing fold. My mistake. What we have here. Intakes. This looks like part of the wing fold section, so it does this. This is the part of the wings as well. Flaps. So here we have some flaps. Nice detail again, all riveted. This looks like part of the wing fold section. These are the intakes. This is that piece that sits in between the wheels. I'm not 100% sure what it was. This looks like some radio equipment maybe, or internal somewhere. This looks like more wing fold. Smaller detail parts. Here are those other wings. These are the wings at the back of the aircraft, because it's got that V shape. There is a couple of inserts, which is no doubt is probably these parts here. Jet the pins on the inside. You're not going to see them because they get face down. This is what sits on top. We have these pieces as well. This sits at the back of the aircraft, because where these holes are will sit inside here, and it allows the, I think, the back whole entire back wings pivot. This looks like part of the cockpit maybe. There was a small bag inside there as well. A couple of polycaps for some reason. I don't remember seeing that in instructions. I probably overlooked it somewhere. We do have the clear part while we're here. There's 2 clear parts. Open and close canopy option. This is that weird looking sprue. So we have this nicely protected piece. This is the centre. Again, nicely done. We do have a little bit of a centre seam, but we do have this nice frame around the cockpit and canopy for protection. Here is another piece. This is that front nose. You can see all of this section has got a large segment of canopy attached to the fuselage, so it's going to make it very easy for painting. So if you do get a little bit of overspill paint, sorry, not paint, glue, it's not going to be big of an issue, and you're not going to fog up your and ruin your canopy. I believe the front of the aircraft is coloured like a green or blue. Let me pop this back in here before it gets damaged. If you get scratches on your main sprues, you can get away with it with paint. Clear, not so much. And we do have the main canopy. This again is the closed option. So here's the main canopy section. It's the closed option. Again, this one doesn't seem to have a centre seam that I can't see of, but the open version has. But this looks superb and crisp and clear. So you can see just straight through that. Even if I bring it up closer to the camera, it's still absolute crystal clear. Starts to get distorted as you go further away, but that's expected. But it's going to be about this close, and you're going to see everything. That's very nice. This one's been heat sealed. So this section, we have the main tail at the back of the aircraft. This is the centerpiece for the wheel blade. We have internals. So here's the main upper wing, and we do have this like spine that fills in this section. The raster hook. This is the where the landing gear sits in, and these cutouts are probably for cannons or some of the missiles to sit into. Instrument panels, superb detail. It's all like raised and stuff. More instrument panels, internals. Nicely done. Going back to the staples again now. this sprue here. This is your main wheelbase section. Another fuel tank and hard points. Some landing gear sections. Superb. And then the inside of the detail for the wheelbase. Absolute superb detail. Nice detail painting, nice wash. That's going to come out lovely. We have these flaps by the looks of things. And then we have these attachment points. These are all the hard points. Main landing, one of the landing gears. I think this is for the front landing gear underneath the cockpit. The large fuel tank. I think this is the centre one. And a couple of lumps and bumps and detail parts. So the main body now. So here's the main body. The intakes are going to go down there. The centre spine will sit up the top there. Engines are going to go at the back. Your tail is going to slot on top of this piece. Strange, one side is moulded as one piece and the other half comes as two halves. It's a strange one. So we have this section on the other half. We have this sprue. Staples are coming off. So these looks like hard points, and this detail parts in general. Landing gear segments. This is that spine for the aircraft. Here's the refueling probe. This looks like instrument panel parts again, and some lumps and bumps. Here's the arm for the refueling probe. More hard points. Oh, damn it. So we have this large sprue. These two ends are for, not sure, but maybe part of the intake section. We have the lower spine for the wheelbase, cockpit detail, flaps, and all the detail parts to go with it. So we have these pieces here, which I can't remember what they were for. Flaps, cockpit tub. These look like the sidewalls for the landing gear. This is that structural piece for the landing gear, and all the detail parts that go with it. some kind of bulkheads. I think this is for the landing gear as well. And loads of small, there's the arms for the pilots. Loads of screws. 2 more screws and then that's the complete kit. So here we have some more wings. Your nose and some cowlings for the back of the aircraft. So we have another set of wings. We have this nose cone, kind of slide moulded, and this cut out piece has got the electronics piece on the front. We have these pieces at the back of the aircraft as part of the engine covers, and so is this. We have 2 sprues of weapons, which are exactly the same. So I have 2 sets of weapons. So we have the fins, front part of the weapons. Strange way of doing it. Here's the back part of the weapon. And then the larger missiles. And the fins for those. And that's it, my friends. So there you are, my friends. There's another kit from Tamiya. Superb detail. Superb kit, hopefully, from Tamiya. 1/48 scale. It's the F-4B Phantom 2. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.